Going live. Welcome everyone to this World Peace Hologram session for January 12th, 2020. My name's Carolyn Winter. I'm a holographic coach using the resonance repatterning system of creating change and awareness for anyone who's interested in having more energy and coherence in their life. It's all about the energy in this work. So I'm going to admit up front, this is my first time using the new YouTube live streaming. And so I'm just kind of getting acquainted here and seeing where everything is. Looks like we have a chat feature. So I'm going to put something in the chat box and you can respond if you see it and let me know if you're out there. Be nice to know. This is more or less going to be conducted like a monologue otherwise. So there we go. All right, then. Let me just size up my screen here, and I'm taking notes for this session on the side. So you'll see me looking over there from time to time. That's me doing the session notes for this repatterning session. So if this is the first time you've lucked into doing a World Peace Hologram session or have never heard of resonance repatterning, I'm going to say a few words about that first before we get started in the session. So yes, I use a tool called resonance repatterning. It involves two tools, actually. Muscle checking. Some people know it as muscle testing, but we call it muscle checking. And this is using biofeedback. You can Google that and look that up. But it's checking to see where we go next in the system. That's one way I use this muscle checking. This is my yes. This is my no. And I use this checking in response to a piece of information or a question. And yeah, so it's all about biofeedback. And so this is sort of reading our energy field. And yes, it can be kind of subjective, but it works. And then the second tool is this mandala or map that helps us drill down to all the patterns that get in the way of our having a life of freedom, joy, peace, inner peace, and all of that good stuff. And you know what causes the pain, limitation, etc., are the patterns in our energy field, according to this system. So there's 6 stops: orientation, problems, intentions, repatterning, spiral up options, and positive action, something you do after the session. And each of these sessions drill down to many more pieces of information and patterns that we identify for the session. So I'm using muscle checking here to figure out where we go in this process. I find the piece of information, like the issues and intentions you may have submitted for the session, and then and we record them. At the end, we'll do these spiral up options, some alternative healing exercise that Chloe Wordsworth has discovered and documented in her body of work to shift the patterns, to shift the frequencies that we're on so that we resonate with peace. And we say that what we resonate with is what we experience in our life. And our session today is about experiencing world peace, creating more peace in the world. And so for each of us that are participating in this session, when we create peace in ourselves, we're automatically creating peace in the world. We're uploading it to the grid of humanity, is how I like to describe it. So I see that we have at least one person who's found the chat box. Hooray, Tabitha. So glad to have your energy out there. And I can't promise I can follow this chat and do the session at the same time, but I'm going to do my best. I'll check in once in a while and see how that's going. So let's get started. And I see, I just want to see if I can just size that up a little bit better. There we go. All right, then. So let's start our session. So for any of you who would like to participate, you need to give permission to have your field of energy included. So either you just declare that to yourself, or if you go to the post that's listed with this video or over at worldpeacehologram.com, you'll see that there's a form there. You could actually fill out a Google Doc form, fill it out anonymously, put in your issue, your intention, and your world peace intention, and it will all be included in the session. You can do that at any time. All right then, so proxying all the people who've signed up for this session, either in the present or sometime down the road when you find this video, let's start the session. So I'm going to start by beginning with orientation. We need that, no. We need problems, no. Intentions, no. We're going to start with a repatterning. For that, I have a number of catalogs that have dozens of repatternings. There's over 100 of them. So I'll check. We need primary patterns and conscious patterns, chakra patterns, meridian, and 5 elements. So that's a set of repatternings based on the acupuncture system. So it looks at the meridians and the elements. And here we go. It's this book. And the repatterning that we need here, I'm just going to go to the index, is 24-hour time clock, seasonal, 5 element, new point, abundance, decision making, the 5 element qualities repatterning. I love this repatterning because everything gets shifted with one acupuncture point at the end that we contact. No needles, we just use the contact. So we need to read something about it to begin with. We don't. And it says here, the very first question for this repatterning method of inquiry asks what role feels uncomfortable for us in some way. And we need to get one of the roles from this list. We do. So it's number 1 on the list, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's my role as leader. Isn't that interesting? So I'll put that statement down. My role as leader feels uncomfortable. Now I'm going to look at everybody's submissions for issues and see if there is a reason why it feels uncomfortable. And it may not make sense, but I'm going to use it anyway because I don't have enough energy. I'm always in crisis mode. Certainly feels like it at the moment. And I have to suffer to be of service. And of course, that's sort of draining of our energy, isn't it? So we need to list more information for the personal issue involved here. No. So I'm going to repeat that statement and check our resonance with it on behalf of the whole group that's proxied into this session. So my role as leader feels uncomfortable because I don't have enough energy. I'm always in crisis mode, and I have to suffer to be of service. And checking our resonance, our field of resonance, we resonate with that. Meaning, and you look at our leaders on the world stage, how many of them are looking a bit tired, under kind of whacked out by constantly being in crisis mode, and really, what kind of a family or home life do they have? They're suffering all the time. So what do we want instead? So this is where we get the opportunity to make an intention. So I'll invite you at home, if you're watching this, to make your own intention of what you'd like in your life instead of all this suffering as a leader. And in your leadership role, that could be mom, sister, local volunteer, colleague at work. In any of your roles, well, how would you like to be perceived as a leader? And I'm going to just take a moment and divine what our hologram for this session is asking of us. And just take a pause here and think. My role as leader is energizing, uplifting, rewarding. Do we need anything else? We do. Okay, we need something from everybody else's intentions. I am coherent, um, and see the best in all other leaders, like my children, for those of you who wrote that up. Uh, and I go into action, uh, and then relax, sleep well, and breathe. Okay, so that's one statement. We need this next statement. Things work out better than expected. And so we need any other intentions for our role as leader. We don't. So I'll say these two statements on behalf of the group and check for resonance. My role as leader is energizing, uplifting, rewarding. I am coherent. I see the best in all other leaders. And I go into action, then relax, sleep well, and breathe. We're off for that. And the next one is things work out better than expected. We're off for that as well. All right, then. And what else do we have? Okay. So now we need a level of coherence, which is going to give us about 5 more pieces of information, approximately. We need awareness coherence, no. Personal coherence, no. Relationship coherence, yes. So we'll go to that list of qualities, and they're grouped by the elements of the acupuncture system. So I'm checking first on the coherent wood quality is needed, no. Fire, earth, metal. It's just a coherent water quality that's needed. Water element is all about wisdom and inner knowing and going to the depths of things. We need 1, we need 2, we need 3, we need 4. The statement is I bring meaning to the connections I have, and that's off. And we need something else from water. We don't, from the non-coherent water quality, non-coherent relationship qualities. Yes, we need wood, we need fire, we need earth, we need metal. So this is a non-coherent quality that we need to clear up. It's 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 6, 7, 8. I feel I have to be perfect in relationship with others. We're on for that. Losing proposition. I feel I have to be perfect in relationship with others. And we're on for that negative quality, and that's metal element. And we need another metal element quality, a water quality. We do. So it's 1 through 5. 1. Number 1. First part, second part, or third part. It's the first, it's the second. The statement is, imagine this, our world leaders that we're proxying here say, I'm unable to hear another's point of view, and we're on for that. Able to hear another's point of view. Yeah, we are resonating with that. And of course, that transfers to everyone. There's an incomplete situation that we need to take a look at. No. So some parts of this repatterning we can't do as a group without more information. So we're just not going to do those parts. And we're going to skip the earlier experience as well. And that takes us straight to an acupuncture point now to see what we need to do to clear up these patterns. And so we've looked at water and metal, and it's one of these 2 elemental areas. It is. It's more water. And under water, we have 2 meridians, bladder and kidney. It's the bladder meridian. It's the kidney meridian is suffering here. And the kidney meridian, I'll show you a picture of it in a minute, needs water, wood, fire, earth, metal. It needs a spirit level point to support living from our essence of power and vital force. So spirit level point on the kidney meridian. So let's go there. I'm going to get the map out. spirit level point on the kidney meridian. And that number, there's a number of spirit level points, but we're going to get a particular one. And it is not that source point. It's number 3. Number 3. All right. So I'll show you a picture of number 3. It's on the foot. Oh, let's see if we can get this image to come in clearly. There we go. Number 3. Do you see it? If you're watching and you'd like to participate, you can just hold that point lightly on your left foot, right foot. I'm going to hold it by proxy for the whole group using the chart. And at the same time, I'm going to read what it says about this earth. It's an earth point and a source point. And it means that this point brings the stability of earth when your willpower is depleted or when your thoughts are out of control, going round and round in circles. This earth point brings nourishment and stamina to the kidney official when there are fears or you've exhausted your reserves. The earth acts as a container so that you feel reassured and have the courage to flow forward, trusting in your instinctual knowing. So that's our point. And we need to keep holding it for another few minutes, seconds. We need another half a minute or so. I'll let you know when that's done. So keep on holding that point, number 3, on the sort of around the ankle area of your right foot. You'll find a little tender spot there. Just hold it lightly and breathe. And I'm just holding the point on the chart. You can't see it. It's on the desk by proxy for the whole group. Okay, now you can slowly remove. Don't take it off in a rush. Just slowly remove your finger from that point. You can almost feel the energy drag between your finger and that point on your foot. And that's complete. It is. So take a deep integrating breath if you're doing the session with us. I know it seems like such a trivial little movement, but you're actually moving a vast amount of energy on behalf of a group when you're doing this work. So take care of yourself and have that breath. So many of us don't breathe. We just stop breathing when bad news arrives or things aren't working well. And that just creates all kinds of congestions and blockages in our field of energy. So it's good to keep conscious of your breath and keep it moving. Well, that's our 5-element repatterning, qualities repatterning. We need another repatterning, though. We need another spiral tool, no. Positive action. I'm going around the wheel again, by the way. We need orientation, no. Problems. We need intentions. And these are the intentions for the personal intentions. Now, I think we pretty much used them in the session already. This is an intention for world peace. All right, so I'm just going to put in my intuitive hat again and make some world peace intentions for the things that sort of are hitting me this weekend, January 12th, 2020, the areas in the world that need peace. So this is a chance for us to direct our coherent energy in that direction. So top of mind is Australia. So let's intend that Mother Nature brings moist air and helps to control and eliminate fires raging out of control. Maybe we'll just say fires in Australia. The workers are supported in their endeavors to bring the fires under control. So that's our first world peace intention. There's very specific. And I'm saying this on behalf of the group, that Mother Nature brings moist air and helps to control and eliminate the fires in Australia. The workers are supported in their endeavors to bring the fires under control. And we're off for that currently. The fires in Australia, now this is just all coming to me in Australia, provide a wake-up call and renewed motivation to world leaders to implement, to collaborate and implement climate change policies, climate change strategies, let's call it that. We're off for that. All right, what else do we need? So that's Australia. We need to intend anything else for the situation in Australia? No. The situation in the Philippines, I saw that earlier today with the volcano erupting. We need an intention there so that the Philippine volcanic eruption is handled well and people are saved from harm. And we're off for that intention. And our own Canadian citizens who lost their lives in that horrible targeted plane accident in Iran, and now the tentative situation in the whole area there, what can we intend for that? That, being selfish here, being Canadian, that the Canadian government is given answers, cooperation, and actions that lead, is given answers, cooperation, and actions by all concerned now lead to immediate peace. And we're off for that. Okay, that's from my perspective. And we need something else for the Iranian situation. We don't. We need another area of the world to be intended for this session today. We don't. I'm just looking at what everyone else submitted for world peace intentions. And we need to add, I'm just checking the list of everyone's intentions to see what belongs in this session. We need this one, this one, this one, this one. We have a peaceful resolution in the Middle East with coherent leadership worldwide. Okay, we'll put that one in. It's a little bit different wording, but that's off. Okay. All right, well, we need any other world peace intentions. No, so there's millions of intentions that we could make, but it's just, with these patternings, it's sort of a case of less is more. And it could really very well lead to peace in the area that you're intending for peace in the world. So do take a moment and jot down an intention for peace for your perspective, for someplace in the world that's real specific. It might be in your own backyard. Toronto has no sort of shortage of peace issues. There's gun violence, there's pedestrians being knocked off the street by cars every other day. There all kinds of things that we could intend the opposite for. So pick one for you and consider it included in this session. We need something else from the intention section. We don't. We need a repatterning, modalities, action. We need some orientation here. If you're not orientated, you're walking around in brain fog, and it's hard to be a world leader, doing, trying to negotiate peace. So we need orientation to self, to others. Okay, so the others, we need about feeling welcomed, entrainment. I love this concept of entrainment. It's when one field of energy combines with a second field of energy, one coherent field of energy combines with another field of energy, also coherent. The amplitude of the field doubles. There's more energy for everyone in that hologram when fields are entrained and merged. You can really picture the whole concept of entrainment when you think of a pendulum clock swinging back and forth. If you put another clock beside it, within 20 minutes, both pendulums are swinging together. That's entrained energy. And it's very powerful. It's super powerful to have all these different forces aligned together. Now, in this statement, it says we, and we're going to define, I'm going to put in brackets who the we is. It's me and you who are participating in this session. It is. And it's also our entrainment with world leaders. It is. So, world leaders. For those of you who mentioned more personal things, it's our entrainment with family. No. Community. No. Just the world hologram. I'm just going to put world hologram for peace. So us and world leaders, like the hologram of world leaders and the hologram for peace in the world. And we're going to say this statement: we pulse together for trust, understanding, bonding with love and unity, and attaining a higher energy state of vitality, joy, and peace. And we're off. I'm just going to finish writing that out. Bonding with love and unity and attaining a higher energy state of vitality, joy, and peace. And we're off for that orientation. We need orientation to time. We don't. So what else do we need for this session? We need orientation, problems, intentions, repatterning, a spiral up option. Again, I'm using this chart when you see me checking where we need to go. And we're going for a spiral up option. I have a catalog for that. It's this one. And I'm checking. It is page 1, no, page 2. Color and light options. It's a movement option. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. It's a very gentle movement one. It's called the open heart gesture. And I'm just going to read a little bit about what that is. It's very simple. The open heart gesture represents the mudra or hand position of unconditional love. And unconditional love melts all negativity. You can't have hate and love in the same channel. It just doesn't, it can't coexist. Doing the open heart gesture has an energizing and strengthening effect on you as well as anyone else present or that you're thinking about. In the face of potential violence, as some practitioners went to the open heart gesture, which seemed to calm an assailant so that no harm was done. So it's a very simple thing to do. You can stand. I'm going to sit here because I don't have the standing space on camera. But basically, have your palms out and your arms at your side, but shine your face, your palms outward as if light was coming from your hands. The hands are the sub-chakra of the heart chakra. So imagine all this light is coming out of your hands. It's the light of unconditional love. And we just need to do this for just, I'm just going to watch the clock here. I'm going to put this on. And we need to do this for a minute, half a minute. So just, again, hold your palms straight out. Shine the light of unconditional love out into the world. And breathe. And we'll do this in silence for about 30 seconds. And breathe. Okay, you can slowly bring that to a close. Bring your hands together. Take a deep integrating breath. It's lovely. Good. We need any other spiral up options or modalities. We don't. Okay, take a pause. Notice the energy around you. For some people, when you do one of these healing exercises, you can kind of feel a shift of energy around you, and 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 for others, nothing at all. So don't worry if you didn't feel anything. It might just come later. That's all. So now we need anything else before we clear the statements. We don't. So through this session, we've identified a number of patterns. I checked our resonance. It was on for the negative, off for the positive. We're now going back to having put some energy in our hologram. We're going back now and we're going to recheck all these statements to see what shifted. So we'll start with here. My role as leader feels uncomfortable because I don't have enough energy. I'm always in crisis mode and I have to suffer to be of service. And now that statement is off. We no longer resonate with that statement. My role as leader is energizing, uplifting, and rewarding. Get that instead. I'm coherent and see the best in all other leaders, and I go into action, then relax, sleep, and breathe. We are now resonating with that. Things work out better than expected. Resonating with that. And that's on. I bring meaning to the connections I have. That's a water quality. And we are now resonating with that. Next quality is metal. I feel I have to be perfect in relationship with others. And we're now cleared for that life depleting pattern. Say I'm unable to hear another's point of view. And checking a resonance, that's now cleared as well. World peace intentions. So here's our intentions for world peace. That Mother Nature brings moist air and helps to control and eliminate the fires in Australia. That the workers are supported in their endeavors to bring the fires under control. And that is now on. So hopefully they're supported in many, many ways. Just changing that resonance there to on. And remember, what we resonate with is what we tend to experience. The fires in Australia provide a wake-up call and renewed motivation to world leaders to collaborate and implement climate change strategies. We're now resonating with that. The Philippine volcanic eruption is handled well and people are saved from harm. Something happening today, and we're on for that. Issue that's a world issue but really affected Canadians. The Canadian government has given answers, cooperation, and actions by all concerned in the Iranian incident. I'll just add that detail in. And this now leads to immediate peace. We're on for that. Hopefully some good can come about all of this. And we have a peaceful resolution in the Middle East with coherent leadership worldwide. And we're resonating with that. And our last statement, orientation, it's for entrainment. We, pulsing together with world leaders and the hologram for peace, pulse together for trust, understanding, bonding with love and unity, and attaining a higher energy state of vitality, joy, and peace. And we're now on for that as well. So all of our statements have cleared, and we need a positive action, something that we can do after the session to keep up this shift. We don't. So, my friends, we are repatterned. So that's actually really wonderful. So the that's our repatterning for today, our world peace session. I always like to, when I do sessions with clients, people say, well, that was interesting. And, oftentimes patterns come up that in a session that you wonder, wow, how did you know where that came from? And, but it can really illuminate where you need to rethink some things in your life and start to make changes. So, how do these sessions work? Well, I tell everyone after a session, you can look for three levels of changes. And you may only experience one, possibly two. And if you get all three on the same day, that's total transformation. But the first is to look for new insights or awareness in what's ever causing you to not experience peace in your heart and in the world. So that's the first thing. When you have sufficient insight or awareness coherence, then your field of energy will move you automatically into personal coherence. And that's where you can now organically, without almost on not even thinking about it, start taking new actions that you couldn't take before. In our example here with a world peace session, maybe we just start doing things differently with recycling or whatever that leads to better management of the planet, right? I mean, it's all these little micro decisions day to day that each of us are making that makes a difference on the grid of humanity. So each one of us starts to take slightly different actions that we couldn't take before. And while it might just be affecting us personally in our personal lives with our families, our colleagues, etc., it's being mirrored in the hologram on the world stage as well. So look for that. Maybe our world leaders are taking new steps that we didn't expect them to do before. You never know. And lastly, there's relationship coherence. And that's when our field of energy is so coherent that others start to entrain with it in a coherent way and show up to support us. There's more collaboration, there's more mutual understanding, there's more compassion, there's more patience. We have a willingness to work things out together. And there's a generosity of heart and spirit when you have relationship coherence. So look for that in your life personally and see how it also plays out in the news and on the world stage for the world issues that we looked at today. So that's how you can claim the win from this session for yourself. If you have any questions, do be sure to get in touch. Go back to the World Peace Hologram, all one word, .com, and you'll find this session there. I'll be posting the notes there, and you're welcome to leave comments and ask any questions you would like to ask. So, my deep appreciation for those of you showing up here in person today, and any time in the future. Really appreciate that. And yes, thank you for your patience with my first live streaming session of 2012 with YouTube. Really appreciate YouTube for this service as well. I'm Carolyn Winter. Thank you for joining me. Bye for now.